Well, many artists use music to share their experiences, but for the lead singer of Canadian band Hollerado, it was the experiences of his grandfather during the Second World War that inspired the band's latest song, music video, and led to an emotional reunion. Deanna Sumanak has his story.
It's a song about humanity in the midst of war, not your typical indie rock song. Menno Versteeg is the lead singer of the Canadian rock band Hollerado, best known for their punk-flavored party anthems. But the band's new song and music video is a loving tribute to Versteeg's late grandfather Karel and his youth as a resistance fighter in Nazi-occupied Holland.
Those stories were absolutely fascinating, and I loved hearing them.
Among all the stories of Versteeg's grandfather's courageous act, there was also a story of a captured by the Nazis and a life-changing conversation with a high-ranking German officer.
My grandfather was able to say to the German, listen, what would you do if you were in my situation? If your country had been occupied by another country, if your city, Rotterdam, had just been completely flattened by German bombs, what would you do? And the German said to him, oh, I would do exactly the same thing you're doing. I would fight back. You have to.
The German officer spared Karel Versteeg's life, putting him in prison rather than killing him. And at the end of the war, the Dutch resistance fighter returned the favor. He testified at the German officer's war crimes trial and ended up saving his life. Almost 70 years later, Menno Versteeg and the German officer's grandson met while Versteeg was in Europe shooting a music video for the song about his grandfather.
I went to Munich and we met each other. Lives on the other side of the world, has so many of the same interests I do, great dry sense of humor, loves to drink beer like I do.
So I think now really the circle is closing.
Two young men who, thanks to their grandfathers, are alive today to share the story of human compassion in the worst of circumstances. Deanna Sumanak, CBC News, Toronto.
Now there's a story.